Howdy folks, it is time once again to figure out the best Pokemon of a certain typing for every game. So last time, we looked at the best flying type for each game, and this time, we're going to be looking at one of the flying type's natural predators. That's right, today, we're going to be looking at the strongest electric types in each and every main series Pokemon game, as chosen by you guys. Let me know right down below what typing you'd like to see next. And, oh man, wait, talk about deja vu. We go from bugs to flying types, and now to electric types? You guys are getting a little ruthless, but I wouldn't say I don't like it. Let's get into things and see just what electric types there are. So we start off with red, blue, and yellow, and the conversation turns into Raichu versus Jolteon. They both get access to agility, and they both have Thunderbolt, which is easily gotten as a TM in the first gen. As we know already, things are a bit scuffed mechanic-wise in red, blue, and yellow. So agility is boosting other stats on a Pokemon alongside speed depending on how many gym badges you have, which can actually be seen as a plus on Jolteon since it has access to Pin Missile. It's the only real thing that can be used against Psychic types. And in the last game, when you're running into a couple of Psychic types during the Elite Four run, in Champion Battle, it might be nice to have Jolteon's attack stat go up for the sake of a stronger Pin Missile. Essentially, it comes down to what matters more: the pure strength and how early you can have Raichu, or Jolteon and that Pin Missile option. Though, when it comes to just yellow on its own, I guess the decision is made for you, because you can't get Raichu in that. Alright, so now we go to Gold, Silver, and Crystal. And I really am going to surprise you here and go with Raikou as the best electric type. Now, I know it's legendary, but it actually isn't all that late when you can get it. Now, you have to put in work to get any of the legendary beasts in Johto, that's for sure. It's really worth it with Raikou though, as you can give it Thunder. And suddenly, it's hitting harder than essentially all the other electric type options. I often would use Ampharos on best teams for Johto, but recently I did the best team with no restrictions and chose to go with Raikou. It might be a legendary Pokemon, but as long as you aren't getting it like right before you're about to face the Elite Four, then I think it's a bit viable. You'll need to activate the Beast's Necrotique and then travel around trying to find it. But again, it's definitely the best electric type for a playthrough of these Gen 2 games. Alright, so here we are with Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. And this one was pretty easy. I think it's best to go with Manectric, as you can get it pretty early, and for the most part, prior to a physical special split, it's pretty good. Plusle and Minun are absolute garbage, so they're a no-go. You get Pikachu a bit too late into the gym challenge for my taste, and then Magneton and Electrode just aren't good enough. So Manectric has great electric type moves at its disposal, and then something like Bite, which is special. You can get Thunderbolt quickly from the Mauville Game Corner, which is almost immediately after you can get an electric. But then again, you may or may not have the money. It's simply a great option, and it works for the 3rd generation Hoenn games, even though Manectric isn't quite great later on in the franchise. So let's go with Fire Red and Leaf Green next, and this time, I'm going all in with Jolteon. You can get it at a good time, give it Thunderbolt if you buy it at the Rocket Game Corner, and rely on it to outspeed everything through most of your journey. Now, I can completely understand if you believe Zapdos should be gone with, and I think that it's actually an even better option, of course. It's just a touch late when you get it is all. Though I will admit, it is level 50 when you pick it up. I think Jolteon and Zapdos are both really, really good options. If you don't like using legendary Pokemon, use Jolteon. If you like legendaries, then use Zapdos. Alright, we've got Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum now, bringing us to the beginning of the physical special split. So when it comes to Diamond and Pearl, there's really only two options: Raichu and Luxray. Now, I think it's going to be Luxray here, as you can get it at a very early point in the game, and at level 30, it's a nice early evolution. It has 120 base attack, access to Spark, Thunderfang, and Crunch. It's just a great option, and a bit over Raichu. Now, talking about Platinum, there ends up being more options, and I think the best is honestly Luxray again. Now, here's the thing: Magnezone and Electivire join the ranks in Platinum, but the latter can't actually be obtained normally, and the former is a bit of a later option. Now, you can get Jolteon in Platinum, but I feel that Luxray's move pool is just a bit better, and you still can't be getting Shinx early. So I get if maybe, oh, Jolteon is faster and Thunderbolt is great, is stuck in your head hearing this, but despite how much I love Jolteon, I think objectively, Luxray's the better option. Alright, for Heartgold and Soul Silver, there is not much of a change from Gold, Silver, Crystal, as once again, Raikou is the best option. I don't have a lot to say other than Raikou is even better this time around, with more options to use in battle via TM and whatnot. It's the choice, no doubt. Let's get into Unova and take a look at all the options. We've got Pokemon like Electros, Emolga, Galvantula, and Stunfisk. Well, I'll say right off the bat, Stunfisk isn't good. So let's just forget about that thing. Galvantula is a relatively fast option, and its special attack is a 97 base, which is very solid. It has access to Compound Eyes, which makes its thunder attack easier to land, and it can use Signal Beam. It's really not bad at all. Then we have Emolga, and that is a fast option as well, but I think its attacks hold it back a bit even with the nice typing. Now we got the option I find to be the best for Black and White, Electros. It has no weaknesses thanks to Levitate, and its move pool is tremendous. It's got 115 base attack and 105 special attack, so it can be a mixed attacker and there's some moderate bulk to it. It can learn Discharge, Acrobatics, Flash Cannon, and Dragon Tail. That's a ton of coverage. It's gotta be the option for these games. Alright, as for Black and White 2, I think I'd go with Electros again, but I want to highlight Electivire. Unfortunately, it's a version exclusive, but it's still incredibly good. You need the trade to evolve it, so I guess it's possible to somehow end up with one in Black 2, but still I think Electros is the best option even still for this game. You go to Chargestone Cave, you get the Tynamo, and they're all good. Chargestone Cave isn't too late or anything in Black and White 2, so it's still plenty viable. So we move on now to everyone's favorite Generation 6 game, X and Y. There are definitely a large group of electric types, from Manectric, to Ampharos, to Dedenne, to Heliolisk. Though I'm not going with any new Pokemon that came out in the 6th gen. I'm working with 1st generation power here, picking Raichu as the best for the region. It's got access to great moves like Thunderbolt, Focus Blast, and Grass Knot, so it's got some decent coverage that a lot of electric types usually lack. Its speed is 110, and its special attack is 90, more than good enough to succeed during a playthrough, so don't worry about any power lacking. Plus, really, if you want to run it as a mixed attacker, the option for that is there as well. Let me know what you guys think about this one, as I can definitely see some of you guys disagreeing with me, and I'd like to hear why. But I will say that Heliolisk is also a very, very good choice, having access to its move pool and its stats. So let's get a little discussion going here. Now, on to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I had an interesting time here. Manectric's move pool isn't a good one for a special attacker in ORAS, so I eliminated it quickly even with the Mega Evolution. Raichu was another one I could have gone with, but I ultimately decided on Magnezone for this trip through Hoenn. You can get Magnemite very early on, and evolving it isn't too bad, as you'll just need to head to New Mauville to get around the magnetic field with Magneton. It's got a nice move pool with Flash Cannon, which can cover fairy types, and then Thunderbolt leading the way for Stab. It doesn't have a lot of coverage outside of that, but those two moves are enough to handle so many Pokemon in the region. Plus, it's very defensive and has a great special attack. So how could you go wrong using it? That's right, you can't. So for Sun and Moon, this one came down to Alolan Raichu and Electivire. Now, the biggest thing going for Alolan Raichu has to be how early you can get your hands on it. Right on the first route of the game. You won't be able to get Elekid until Blush Mountain, which is on the 3rd island. So that is definitely a bit later. To make the case of Alolan Raichu, it has a great typing in Electric Psychic, and its speed and special attack are both really nice. Electivire, while very strong at 123 base attack, doesn't offer the same kind of power and coverage that Alolan Raichu can. It does get better for it in Ultra Sun and Moon, but even then, I feel how late you have to wait to get it hurts. It also hurts for Vikavolt and Magnezone, as they become options now with the magnetic field moving to Blush Mountain on Ula Ula. If this wasn't the 3rd island, I probably would have gone Electivire or Vikavolt over Alolan Raichu, but I just couldn't end up doing that. The coverage, power, and typing of Alolan Raichu is just too hard to look past. It is really too good. Let me know what you think there for these Ultra games. Do you think the wait for Electivire and Vikavolt should be held against them? Or is Alolan Raichu truly the best option? I'd really like to know your opinion. So now, we've got the Let's Go games. And obviously, the best electric type is your partner Pikachu. Well, unfortunately that doesn't count since it's extremely version exclusive. But in that case, how about Zapdos for this one? It's a lot easier to get around the region and level up and all of that, so it almost feels like it just doesn't matter that you get certain Pokemon later than others in Let's Go. You just need Sea-Skim and Zapdos can be yours. And in these games, it's better than Jolteon, Raichu, and Electabuzz. Go use Zapdos and have the power of a legendary on your side. Alright, we've made it to the final games we'll be talking about today, Sword and Shield. Now, there are a lot of options for electric types in this game, but I narrowed it down to 3 I felt strongly about as contenders for the best of Galar. We've got Vikavolt, which is a ridiculously strong special attacker, and isn't hard to get at all, since now Pokemon that usually evolve from a magnetic field will do so thanks to the Thunderstone. Grubbin is a Route 1 encounter, so it can end up possibly being the first Pokemon you capture after getting a starter. And since it evolves into Charjabug at level 20, you could, all things considered, end up with a Vikavolt ridiculously early into your adventure. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm a pretty big fan of having a Pokemon with base 145 special attack pretty early into a game. Another Pokemon I thought about was Dracozolt, which yes, is possible to get in both games, if not a little tricky. It's got 100 base power and a very moderate base 75 speed with some bulk at base 90 defense. It's gotten a bit later into things on Route 6, which is just before Hammerlock. Its move pool gives it access to Fire and Thunderfang, Iron Tail for fairy types, Earthquake, and Outrage. It's a strong Pokemon with some decent coverage, but I feel of the group, it was definitely the least likely to be considered the best. No offense to it. Its unorthodox way of being obtained, and the point when you get it, worked against it here. But that said, I don't think Dracozolt is a bad Pokemon to use in a playthrough. Though, if you're getting any fossil, make it Dracovish. So, what ends up being the best electric type for Sword and Shield? Well, that's gonna have to be Luxray, which again shows up to claim a top spot in a game. You can capture Shinx in the Isle of Armor, which you can immediately access at the start of the game in a few areas that thankfully don't require the Rotom Bike. You'll have Luxray at level 30, and from there, you've got a Pokemon with base 120 attack, with a beautiful array of coverage in its move pool. It has access to all the elemental fangs, including Psychic Fangs, it's got Play Rough and Crunch, and it can even improve its speed with agility. This thing is a picture of coverage in Sword and Shield, and in my opinion, the best electric type to use in a playthrough. Let me know what you folks think about it down below. I'd like to know where you stand on the best of Sword and Shield. Alright. That's going to do it for another entry in this series. The electric type felt like it had a great variety in it. Not too many repeating Pokemon, but definitely a nice skeleton with alternate forms, legendaries, and so on. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments, and also let me know which typing you want to see next. So, since we have this Predator chain going on right now of typings, I wonder which one you guys are going to pick next. Definitely enlighten me in the comments below. So with that said, thank you to everyone for watching the video. Huge thanks to my phenomenal team and the amazing art done each week by Danny the Demon. I couldn't do all this without them. If you all enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Be sure to leave a comment too, as it really helps us out. I also do other content on my Twitch, where I stream Genshin Impact, Mystic Zora, where I do Pokemon Let's Plays and other gaming content, and of course MysticSage, where I do all anime content. Right now, I'm focusing on Inuyasha and Yashahime, so if you're interested in that, be sure to check it out. If you'd like to support me even further than that, check out my Patreon. Whether it's a $1 tip to get early thumbnail access, or the $10 tier to get cool perler bead charms and a shoutout. There's tons of reasons to join today. These lovely people did, and I thank them all so much for their support. It really means the world to me. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mr. Gumbrion, and I will see you all next time with some more amazing Pokemon content.